What's going on, you guys? Welcome to another sick and lit edition of Wrestle Shade, the natural selection. And we're in the building to talk about what is going on in wrestling, especially when it comes to Naomi and Sasha Banks. So let's just go ahead and get on into it. So as we all know, WWE is a piece of work, no shade, no tea. And Sasha Banks and Naomi have been kind of going through it, I guess, with creative and the direction of the tag team titles. A lot of people online are saying that they wanted WWE to take the tag team titles more seriously, thus, teaming Naomi and Sasha Banks up in the first place. I thought they were immediately going to take off with Team Bad, but I guess because we were missing Tamina, they didn't do it. But to me, that still wasn't the reason for them not to do it. They definitely could have did it. It just seems like they took Sasha Banks and Naomi and paired them together without making one a real tag team. It's just like they kind of just combined it, a piece of their names together or a piece of their gimmick together to make it Boss Glow. Monday night for Raw in Norfolk, which the people were in the building, no shade, no tea. I'm learning that they walked out of the building right before Monday Night Raw because they did not agree with creative. And so I'm guessing they didn't agree. I guess that they wanted things to go in a different direction. I'm really not too for sure. But what we're here to talk about is how they went on about it, because I'm understanding that they just kind of left the titles on John Laurinaitis' desk and kind of just vacated the titles. No shade, no tea. We have had wrestlers do this before, but a lot of people, and I'm hearing this from a lot of guys as well, is that they're calling out the unprofessionalism of Sasha Banks and Naomi. So I got a couple of notes here, and I just have a couple of questions as well, because when WWE, Michael Cole announced that Naomi and Sasha had been suspended.
Sasha and Naomi took the tag team championships into the office of our head of talent relations, left them there, and then promptly walked out of the arena. Their actions disappointed millions of WWE fans and their fellow supers. So because of what Sasha and Naomi did this past Monday night, they have been suspended indefinitely.
Bitch, you lying! It just really kind of made them seem like really bad. Like, oh, you girls did a bad thing and you're hurting yourselves. And it's like they made it seem like they were disappointing the WWE universe and they were disappointing the fans. And it's just like, bitch, for us that have been watching the WWE, bitch, we know how the WWE operate. We keep up with the news, we keep up with the stories, we keep up with the side shade. We keep up with what's going on with the wrestlers. One, because, we're fans. And two, because, bitch, if we're really into wrestling right now, especially in this day and age with social media, bitch, you're keeping up with wrestling. So it's like we know how WWE work, and it's just like, wait a minute. Bitch, they let us down. They disappointed us when they were fighting to have a little bit of say-so for their character, a little bit of say-so for their craft. No shade, no tea. I mean, yes, I know creative is creative, okay, and creative make the decisions, and that's why they're creative. But bitch, if creative is not creating, bitch, it's just like, honey, what's going on? I think the wrestler should have a smidge of an input of the direction their character is going in, respectfully and reasonably. I would just like to know what have been going on to lead them up to this. What have they been going through? No shade, no tea, to make them come to this decision. And let me just throw in here really quick. A lot of people like to bring up how Sasha Banks is like a brat and how she whines and she kicks, and she goes into tantrums because she doesn't get her way and she's some kind of Snoop Dogg. I just feel like other wrestlers have done that too, and I'm not going to say that they have been praised for it, but other wrestlers have done that too. It's just like you can have all these other wrestlers and guys, no shade, no tea, want to fight for their character or want to fight for the direction that their character is going in, but bitch, I'm guessing as soon as Sasha Banks do it in particular, and as soon as Naomi do it, it's just like, oh my god, bitch, they're being unprofessional. I just feel like nobody is really asking why. I just feel like nobody's really asking why. And also too, them walking out. Whether you want to call them an employee, whether you want to call the girls contractors, contracted, whether you want to call the girls laborers or whatever you want to call them, bitch, at the end of the day, if it was an at work will state or at will state for work, they could walk off the job, honey, or they could have been fired at any time, and neither party could do anything about it. So, I mean, it's just like, if you're at a job and you are being mistreated, overworked, underpaid, disrespected, not being able to put any creative input into your job or the flow of your job, it's just like, are you gonna stay to get mistreated, or are you gonna look for another job? You might not just up and quit, but bitch, you gonna put in your 2 weeks, ain't it? I mean, are you just gonna stay around or stick around and just be like, okay, let me just put up with it, I'm just gonna be a good little employee and just put up with it? It's just like, in their situation, I don't believe there was no corporate they could have went to. They couldn't have went to upper management and complained. Okay, it's just like, what? It's just like, what else? I mean, I know they love the company. I know, and it's hard for us fans to see them go and to do it in the manner that they did it in. No shade. It might have been a little shady, but it's just like, bitch. I mean, what is it like? What are you doing in this situation? I mean, I don't know. And you do have some wrestlers that put up with the stupid gimmicks. They put up with the direction that their character is going. They grind it out. They stick it out. It's no shade. I think every wrestler has had to put up with maybe a certain time in their career where they've done a stupid gimmick or they've done something that just did not make sense to them. But the creative and or for TV, for the love of the TV, they had to do it. And they did it. But at the end of the day, bitch, everybody ain't like that. Okay? Period. Okay? Everybody is just not, I'm just gonna go to work and I'm just gonna do it without saying nothing, even if I don't agree with it, even if I feel uncomfortable. It's like, everybody is not like that. So the ladies definitely did have a reason for doing what they did. And I mean, some see that as unprofessional and they shouldn't have walked out, and others see that as, bitch, what else could they have done? We stand with them. But at the end of the day, for me, it's just like, if we want to pull the unprofessional card, we gotta also too take into account WWE's history of being unprofessional and WWE's history of doing wrestlers completely wrong, bitch. Okay, let's go ahead and get into some situations. Let's go ahead and remember some people that have maybe walked off their job and or was fired and or, in that same token, too, bitch, were rehired. God today. Anyway, of course, everybody already knows Stone Cold and what Stone Cold went through. Okay, everybody already know that story. And yes, although Stone Cold may now regret and or say it was stupid for what he did, although he might regret what he did, okay, guess what? He still did it. God today, he still very much still did it. And that's the point we're getting at here. He still did it. He was able to get his job back, bitch. And he was able to get TV shows and all these other type of things. And now he's in good graces with the WWE. And bitch, now he's interviewing other legends and stuff with his own network almost. God today. But I mean, he did walk off the job. And to some people, that is a stance of power. That's a stance of not folding. That's a stance of standing up for what you believe in. And some people actually like that. Some fans actually dig that, okay? It's not about the business at the end of the day, bitch. Like, y'all bitches is behind the desk writing taxes off with Stephanie McMahon, bitch. It's not really happening like that. CM Punk, he was somebody else that walked off the job and trashed the WWE, bitch. And guess what? He might not have got back in the WWE ring, but he was still affiliated with the WWE and Fox when it came to the TV show that he was on, period. Before he went over to AEW. Shady situation, but I'm just going to throw him in there anyway. Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy for separate situations. Okay, pass me a drink. And Toni Storm. Toni Storm walked off the job. Period, point blank, boom. And the other girls are making absolute coins, and she's still got her fan base, and she's still developing more of a fan base. She might not be wrestling in a WWE ring no time soon, but her fans are still with her. Let's get into some shady situations. All right, Zelina Vega. What Zelina Vega went through with the WWE, with the whole union thing and all of those things, getting fired. Now we see that, honey, she is what? Is she still queen of the ring? I mean, she's still holding the crown? I don't even know. But Zelina Vega, would she have been unprofessional? Well, probably a lot of y'all probably did call her unprofessional for going with the union. But anyway, let's talk about some shady things on WWE's half. Man, I'm not even going to bring up all of the stuff that Vince McMahon has done and went to court for. God, we're not even going to get on that. But the Montreal Screwjob, as was mentioned, that was kind of shady to do that to the girls back in the day. I think it was Bret Hart. Back in the day, without telling people what's going to happen while they on national TV, national TV, excuse me. I mean, you're definitely getting that raw reaction, and they love that. What if what Naomi and Sasha expressed was a raw reaction when they felt like they wanted to, put them belts on that desk and say, no, bitch, we're not going to continue to get mistreated like this, bitch. We should definitely have a say so in what is going on. Period, point blank, boom. Anywho, let's look up the words. Let's look up the wording, because me personally, I just wanted to talk about that to get this whole unprofessional thing, wrapped up. For me personally, that's just my views on that. Me personally, I think that this is a work. So let's just get into the wording of all of this. When we talk about the difference between being fired and the difference between a indefinite suspension. God today. The difference between being fired versus a indefinite suspension. Key points to clarify in any employment handbook are the differences between suspension and discharge and or termination. Suspension means that the employee still has a job, and discharge or termination means that she does not. So they said that the girls were indefinitely suspended. So a suspension kind of do mean that you still have your job. It's not like Vince McMahon came out there and said, because of Sasha Banks and Naomi vacating their titles on John Laurinaitis' desk, that they are fired. I know I did that horribly wrong, but they're not fired. They're suspended. So let's go ahead and get into it. Get into it, y'all. So let's go ahead and look up the meaning for indefinite suspension. It says here, an indefinite suspension means placing an employee in a temporary status without duties and or pay for an indeterminated period of time. So this means that the girls are still a part of the WWE. They still have a job, but they are just not working. They just don't have any duties, but it's for a indeterminate period, of time. So they are in this kind of this like purgatory where they kind of still have their jobs, they still got their titles, but they're just not working, and no upper authorities or upper figures have made a decision on what they're gonna do with them just yet. So no shade no tea, by definition of some of the terminology and some of the words that WWE are using, the girls still have their jobs, okay? Girls are still very much with the WWE. Now, let's get into this word here, right here. Hold on, wait. Let's get into this word. Hold on, Siri. Because I want to make sure the pronunciation is right for this. Let's get into it.
Indeterminate.
Okay, indeterminate. Hold on, one more time.
Indeterminate.
Okay, indeterminate. Not exactly known, established, or defined.
Bruh.
It's simple. We bad. The best at dominating. Why?
They vacated the titles, which means they were indefinitely suspended, which now we know by the definition of these words that does not mean fired. We also too get into the people saying that they've taken their merchandise off WWE shop, and the girls have been removed from the WWE intro, the WWE monogram, the WWE insignia when they, get ready to show Monday Night Raw and or SmackDown. And I do have pictures. I did screenshot a couple of things that the girls were circulating on Instagram, but WWE, bitch, they are vicious when it comes to pulling the wool over our eyes, bitch. I mean, it's just no links to what the WWE will go into to draw the people in. It's no shade. They've set people on fire before and crashed their limousines. God, today. I do think this is a massive work. It really saddens me that it has to go out in this way. But what if by some type of way Naomi and Sasha Banks are brought back into the fold, and when they are brought back, they are repackaged. They are a solidified team, and they're gonna be going on a run. And it's just like, okay, bitch, this is not Sasha Banks and Naomi separately. This is a package, solidified, certified tag team. I think that this is a work. I think that the girls are coming back. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to pose some of these questions to you guys. How Michael Cole came off really made the girls seem like they were little brats and they were unprofessional. But at the end of the day, bitch, other wrestling superstars have done this too. I mean, like I said, how would you feel if you clocked into work every day, underpaid, overworked, underappreciated, couldn't voice none of your opinions, bitch, had to go clean the grease, had to go clean the toilets every 5 minutes? You would feel some type of way too. And like I said, there was really no higher management or no HR that they could go to get their damn problem solved. I mean, take a stance. And maybe for them taking this stance, with WWE losing numbers or WWE losing viewership or whatever, honey, WWE not selling enough merch now because the girls are gone. I mean, maybe WWE will take their wrestlers and take their talent or their laborers or what the fuck ever more seriously and not play with them and let them actually have some input. Okay, Gunther Stark. A lot of y'all were upset about that. If he would have walked off campus, would y'all would have called him unprofessional? You can call it petty or whatever you want. It's still these instances that happen within the universe, okay? Please, they have to be addressed. Anyway, hit me up in the comment section below, fish. Okay, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, if there was anything that I missed along the way, definitely leave it in the comment section below. Also, too, definitely voice your opinion. This is not one of those sectors in YouTube where the comments are turned off and you can't say what you want to say. Definitely voice your opinion. Your opinions are definitely warranted. And also, too, let us know how you feel about this situation all around, bitch. Okay, if you feel like Naomi and Sasha Banks were unprofessional, please let us know why, honey. Please. If you feel like you stand with Naomi and Sasha Banks for their decision for walking out, please let us know why you feel that way as well. Okay, boom. I'll see you guys in the next one, bitch. It is never a dull moment in the wrestling universe, bitch. I can't even keep up. I'll see you guys in the next one.